Welcome back to another episode of Third and Very Long. I'm your host, Rich Krinnigan, joined by my co-host, Tyler Velos. And Tyler, it's been a while. It's been miserable. It's been sad. I've been crying every Sunday. I bet that the Jets were going to beat the Seahawks with the spread. They had a 16-point spread when I made the bet, and I still lost by 11 points.
Yeah, I mean,
Not even 21.
not even close. I mean, if you thought that Seattle game was close, you're just lying to yourself nowadays. I mean, the Vegas game, I guess, like that being close, you had a little hope there, but that's the most you're gonna get from the Jets. So don't expect much.
Darren Waller made the defense his prison girlfriend.
I don't think I've ever seen a tight end dominate an entire team like I saw. Like not even Gronk in his prime days, not even like Tony Gonzalez in his prime days. Darren Waller went up and above beyond like any tight end I've ever seen.
He blew up last year when he came to Oakland, and then he just took that momentum and just
ran with it.
And he was having a great season before this game too, but really added more to his stats after the game he had against Gangrene.
Hey, I think
I got Gangrene watching that.
Yeah, 100%. I call that game the Greg Show because Greg Williams, that was his thing. That was his time to shine. I don't know if it was to shine. I don't know what his shine was, whether it's the Jets losing, which I guess at this point, yay. Woo, one step closer to Trevor.
Thank
but
God.
At the same time, I look at that call and I'm like, that's a Greg Williams call. I don't know if he should have, do you think he should have been fired from that? What was when you heard Greg Williams, it was Monday morning, Greg Williams was fired. What was your initial reaction?
I wasn't surprised because I'm kind of numb to these kind of reports now, being a Jet fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not surprised if Adam Gase gets arrested for stealing chocolates from a Gertrude Hawk stand in the mall. It just wouldn't faze me. So no, I wasn't. However, if we did win that game, say we won that game, Sam hasn't looked like he may be the answer, and he may be the answer for someone else's franchise, but the way the Jets have been working with him the last 3 years, it seems like you're just wasting this kid's career.
No, he's a broken quarterback. I mean, you think about it, what's his passer rating on the season? 37? 36? That's bottom of the barrel. I know he hasn't played. I know he's been hurt, but still. The thing is last year during that stint when we won those games at the end of the year, you saw Sam Darnold kind of, you're like, oh, okay, Sam Darnold, all these guys, these Todd McShays, these Dan Orlovskis are saying, oh, this kid's got it. He's gonna be good. He's gonna be a great quarterback in the NFL. You're like, oh, that's why they're saying it. But we haven't seen an ounce of that this year. Not even one. I can't even pinpoint a couple plays where, I could say maybe Broncos. That was it. I would say that's it. And that's a run play. Come on. That's totally unacceptable. And the whole Sam is broken narrative, doesn't surprise me. And I understand it.
Yeah. But another thing I was thinking about going back to that Raiders game, if we did win that game, say, for example, Greg Williams called the right game. He's still our defensive coordinator last week's blowout against the Seahawks. We would be the second overall pick.
Yeah.
If we finished the season at 1-15, we would, and the Jaguars did too, they would get the first overall pick because of their strength of schedule, which sucks. In order for us to be safe, Jaguars have to beat the Bears week 16.
Which is possible. I don't know. Mitch Trubisky decided to be.
Also, the Bears' defense is just naturally average every year. I don't know how. I don't really.
What?
How is the Bears' defense?
The Bears' defense is really good.
Oh, it is.
Khalil Mack.
Yeah, I think
Khalil Mack, and they don't miss a beat. Akeem Hicks.
Yeah.
Khalil Mack. I think they have one of the Fuller brothers. That team never misses a beat there, and plus
they have Eddie Pleasants too. He's a really good.
Yeah,
exactly.
Really good safety. But it's the thing is these guys against the Raiders, Sam had 2 touchdowns and interceptions.
Yeah, and 2 fumbles.
It's not impressive. This game was close, but this game was not close because of Sam Darnold. Where is that coming from? Okay, guess what? They're running the ball. But this past week they couldn't run the ball. There's some correlation to it, and the thing is Sam's not elevating us. Whether it's elevating us a step or 100 yards, he's not elevating at all. And a good player elevates himself. When you were younger and you were good at sports, like, you would shine on that team. Like, you knew that kid was probably going to be a good athlete in high school, or that. It's the same difference. When you're around bad people, you shine. And Sam doesn't shine. Sam's not shining. It's every single week. It's losing stinks. Okay, Sam, you're 0-5. You're 0-13. We get it. Losing stinks. What are you going to do about it? Oh, we have to prepare. It's the same thing every single week.
We have to execute.
It's like, so you say that every week, and you tell me you're doing it. You're like, Gase is coming out saying, "Oh, we're having crisp practices." You're not having a crisp practice.
What the heck does crisp mean?
To him, see, that's the thing. I think the way Adam Gase thinks things are going, like, I know he knows it's bad. He's not an idiot. He knows it's bad, but at the same time, he's probably just like, it's not that bad. Like, I don't think he thinks he's on the edge of a cliff, when I think he genuinely is on the edge of a cliff.
No, I just think he's a maniac. I think he's a lunatic, and I think he should no longer be coaching the Jets after this season.
I hope not.
That's been said numerous times. We're going to be the third team ever in NFL history to go 0-16 with the Lions and the Browns. It's gonna be really rough, and it's sad because Joe Douglas brought in a good draft class. Like, I think this draft class was actually, I think the first 3 rounds are great. Bryce Hall looks solid out there a little bit. Lamar Jackson looks decent for an undrafted free agent. Even though he got beat by Henry Ruggs, but like, Henry Ruggs also runs like a 4.2 something 40. Like, he's insanely fast.
He is insanely fast.
That's like chasing a Jaguar down the street.
Ridiculous.
You're not catching
and
that.
then your coach putting in one-on-one coverage against him is like, is asking, like, it's just asking for just a bad day.
And you're both rookies, but realistically, all he has to do is just sprint faster than you. And it's Henry Ruggs.
It's Henry Ruggs. So I mean, I give Lamar Jackson the pass on that. But I mean, starting with the defense, how do you think the rookies have been on the defensive side of the ball this year?
I think Ashton Davis needs to step up a little bit. He has looked good coming from where he was drafted and the role he was expected to have. I think he got more of a role than he expected. And I think the transition is kind of slow. And I think he is messing up on some plays, but he is starting to recognize them and trying to improve himself so those don't happen. Yeah. You could see in games, like, I think one time he blew a coverage. And he was mad on the sideline. He was like beating himself like up, and he was like, "Okay, this is what I did wrong." Like, I feel like he's really learning from it. I think Bryce Hall and Lamar Jackson, for where they were drafted and what they were expected to do, just be depth chart corners.
Yeah, honestly, at the end of the day, like, they were just. I mean, Bryce Hall was drafted, and like, Bryce Hall was a very highly touted junior out of Virginia, and then he got hurt, and now he's like. He's still, you could tell he's still trying to get his feet, but I mean, he's a rookie corner in the NFL. Like, you're gonna get burned most of the time. Like, it's about how you recover. So, I mean, I see Bryce Hall, he's hitting. That's what you like. That's what I see about these young corners. I'm like, corners in the NFL do not like to hit anymore. Bryce Hall is freaking running down screens, taking people out, and Bless Austin is coming up hitting people. Like, those are 2 young corners.
Bless Austin's so cool.
It's cool. He's so cool.
So cool.
But those are the types of guys you want in your locker room. Like, when other corners come in here for competition, you bet your ass they're going to be on them, and they're going to be making sure you're running after them and harping them down just like they are. And that's good. That's a good thing to have out of rookie or young and rookie corners. And Lamar Jackson and Bryce Hall, those guys have those things. Even Ashton's always flying to the ball. I think Ashton's going to benefit from a full strength and conditioning off-season program. Like, he's a smaller dude. He was a incredible track runner, and he is a smaller guy. Like, as soon as he gets that beat, like, he's in a program.
He kind of looks like Jack Harlow a little bit.
A little bit, but that's funny. But honestly, once he gets with a full-time strength and conditioner a whole off-season, this dude's going to come back. He's going to be 215. He's going to still be as fast as he is, and he's going to be, besides Marcus May, looking better. But that's the type of thing. Like, you would probably never know that about Ashton Davis if Bradley McDougald didn't get hurt and the and Jamal didn't get traded. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you would never know that about Ashton Davis at all. But now you do because we got a chance to look at these rookies.
Mhm.
And I think other players like Quinnen's got the line to himself, and he's grabbing freaking double teams, triple teams almost every play.
And he's still
He's still
producing.
productive. Yeah, he's right there with win percentage and pressures. Like, he's right up there, top 5, top 10 in the league. He's really showing up. And then guys like John Franklin Myers, was picked up off of waivers I think 2 years ago, and he's always been on the practice squad. He's kind of been in and out. He's been hurt. He's kind of has some off season, but this dude can play. He's consistently getting pressure. Like, he consistently is like creating havoc on the line, and just you notice like him and Quinnen are always getting the ball, and Bryce Huff too. Bryce Huff was
he's good.
The
he's
unrestricted.
Memphis,
yeah, dude, he's having like those are the 3 guys I look to on defense to kind of like be our staple for like the future. Obviously Marcus May, which we need to bring back on a contract. Like, he needs to come back, and then I would say like I said, the young corners are balling. But anybody else you like seen like that's really like sticking out to you on the defensive side of the ball?
Defensive side of the ball, besides the names we just mentioned,
like Neville Hewitt maybe. Like, Neville Hewitt maybe really wants me, like, he's like one of those type of guys where like he could be the second linebacker next year next to CJ Mosley. Neville Hewitt consistently shows that he can play linebacker every down, and he can hit. He'll meet you in the hole. Neville Hewitt wants to take off your head. That's a perfect compliment to CJ Mosley next year. And then guys like Blake Cashman, who he needs to come back around. Like, I think he just got put on the IR, so he'll be out for a while. But I really need him to get like a full off-season program in, and just be like, come to this next year like fully like, I'm ready to go. I want that middle linebacker job. So I think, and Blake I think can.
I think Blake can be a really good middle linebacker. I like him a lot. Out of Minnesota, his nickname was the Bulldog because he just loved to hit. And he's also pretty fast for a middle linebacker too. Like, he can keep up with like tight ends and running backs in coverage.
Yeah, he was pretty good in coverage. So I think that's like another name to look at. And then, I mean, the cornerback room, we're probably gonna have to bring in another name or something for that. I need to bring in some more competition. Super young, but I think the focus is gonna have to be extending Marcus May, and finding that ultra rare pass rusher the Jets have never had.
Because we had some old John Abraham.
Yeah, whatever.
That was like 2007.
What was that? Yeah,
Not even.
yeah.
No, that wasn't 2007. That was Revis.
That was even farther. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that was even further.
Exactly. So that's a good sign. Our defense is young. These dudes are playing like the rookies are playing, and I mean, what we showed. I mean, you said it before. You used to Joe Douglas's draft class has been the only shining star, and that starts with the big green giant and the lengthy dude from Baylor. So I mean, Becton, I think Becton has been all around good. I know his run protection is A+. He's arguably one of the best in the league when it comes to run protection. His pass rush, you could tell he does need some work on. Guys like Clelin Ferrell got around him. Well, Clelin Ferrell is also one of the most athletic, fast defensive ends in the entire league. That's why he got a little past Becton. He was able to use his speed and get past Becton. I mean, every time it was literally just freaking Ferrell just running around Becton. That's what the play was. It's not like Ferrell put on any moves or anything on him. It was literally just him running around Becton.
I just picture a little kid just running around.
Yeah, literally. Literally, like, if I decided to run around Andre the Giant, that's what it would be. It was a joke. But it got to him because, maybe Sam was holding on the ball for forever, and it gave him the chance to run around. I mean, the thing is he doesn't get penalties. He has one penalty on the year. One false start. Come on. Out of a rookie tackle, one? Come on. I know it's only a couple more games left, but still, that's pretty big. But, you know, it really kind of scares me, but not too much, is his health. I think He is, but I mean, he is an offensive lineman. He is whatever 300 whatever pounds. Like he is at risk. Like he's much more at risk. He didn't get a full off season. Like I think come next year he'll be one of those solidified guys, and hopefully his health isn't an issue.
What I think with Becton's health was the Broncos game when he injured. He got taken out and he was injured, and then later in the game they put him back in. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a dumb move, and because then he re-injured that shoulder before the game, and he missed like a week.
Yeah, it was so stupid, and
why are you doing that to such a young player?
I mean, partially it's definitely on Evan Gase, but I'm sure he is a little bit on him too. Like he's probably like, oh, I'll just push through it. Like, so I mean, I can't really throw much blame at him because that also has a lot to do with Adam Gase, but. I mean, the health of these guys, they had no offseason. Mims, look at him. He's been a stud for us. How many games has he played for us? A couple. So, I mean, he really is kind of been our next glimmer of hope after Becton.
Yeah.
Mims has been playing well. He has 40-plus yards per game. He shows the right traits. And, like, now it's all time to put it together. Like, once he'll get once again, full offseason, he'll be able to put it all together, work with whoever's our quarterback next year, and he'll be fine because he won't have that hamstring problem. He won't have anything like that. So I know he didn't play last week, but that was because of a family emergency.
Yeah,
so that's the only reason he couldn't.
That's good to know that. I think the situation's good now.
Yeah.
And he's healthy too.
Yeah, he's healthy. So everything's good for him. It's just a product of like him literally going from nothing to NFL training camp. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure he probably didn't prepare correctly because he didn't know how to prepare. Yeah. Usually you're like, oh, the Jets are going to send me a book of what to do and they're going to train with me and blah, blah, blah. No, it's like, oh, you got to show up in a week. Let's get it going. Here's NFL. Welcome to the NFL. You know, like normally it'd be like you have an off-season program. You probably have a mentor, all that shit. But this time it was obviously different because of COVID.
Yeah.
So that really hurt him, and it physically hurt him too. You know. Do you notice anybody on offense that you kind of like? Especially one of your, not your boy from Florida. I mean, I know he's been out, but
Perine. Yeah.
What do you think of his year so far?
I'm disappointed in how they're handling him.
Yeah, that's the story. But when he does,
he looks promising. He looks like a back that like all the other ones has to have a full off-season training camp, all the workouts, everything. I feel like he can fit the normal, typical Jets run style of running it right up the gut and like right at you. Yeah. And I feel like he does have enough speed to run on the outside too. He is a hard runner and he has looked good when he is playing. I just wish they gave him the ball more these last 4 weeks, especially against defenses like the Rams or Browns, just to see what you really got. Mm-hmm. So that would be 2 games I would like to see him utilized more, and just to get a clear understanding of what we have at running back. Mm-hmm. Because if he's able to do Frank Gore better than Frank Gore stats, and
which he has been.
Yeah.
But that's another question why Frank Gore is starting every single game and being the lead ball carrier, averaging 2 yards a carry. Come on.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely something, but I think going into the future, Perine's obviously going to be our running back.
Yeah, he's going to be a piece.
Now I don't know either because Ty Johnson.
Ty Johnson's not coming back. That was the one. Ty Johnson's been around the league 100 times.
He did the same. He went off.
Yeah, but I saw him do that in Detroit. He went off at Detroit too. He's just one of those guys.
He's also he's not that much older than Perine.
No, he's not. He's literally. I'm pretty sure he's been the 4 different teams around the league. If he wants to come back, that's like a third. But I think we're going to have to draft another running back. I think we got to get the running back room a little more juicy. Get some get another young guy in there. Maybe like a Najee Harris from Alabama, in the later round, in a third round,
in the third round if we could. Chuba Herbert.
Chuba Herbert's having a year, but he just opted out. So
yeah, he opted out. So his.
I don't know if that'll hurt your stock, help your stock. I don't know. It's weird. The NFL draft's weird this year.
I think it might hurt his stock because that gives other running backs the chance to explode. Mm-hmm. And he can't put up the numbers to say, hey, I could still do this at this kind of level.
True.
Even though he broke like every record under the sun.
Yeah, true. At Oklahoma State.
Mm-hmm.
So I right now for me, like my two running back prospects I'm really looking at is, I said Najee Harris from Alabama.
Yeah, he's good.
He's good. And you know what? Not a lot of these experts are too high on him. Like, oh, like a first round, second round, like Josh Jacobs type of running back. Like, they think he's more of like a third round. Like, he's gonna get your pound per pound yards, and I like that about him. If we can get him in a later round, he's one of those guys who like, he's been around college football. Like, I'm pretty sure like when Jalen Hurts was the quarterback, he was the running back. Like, he was on the team when Josh Jacobs was on the team. Like, this guy's been around Alabama for like, I think he's gonna actually graduate from Alabama, or he's like a redshirt junior. So he knows what to do. He's been in the big game. Every single time you see him play, like, he's just driving his legs. So Najee Harris is a guy to look at. And then Jaret Patterson, the guy from Buffalo. Remember like 2 weeks ago, he had like 400 yards, 8 touchdowns.
Okay,
yeah. Dude, the week before that, he had like 310 yards. This dude is insane.
Way.
Yeah, this dude's like literally insane.
And he's not being talked about?
No, he's not. Like, I mean, he like after the 400-yard game, like he is kind of being talked about, but like,
well, yeah,
I don't really see him high in mock drafts. So that's another type of dude where we could get him in a later round, and he's gonna be extremely solid.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem with running backs nowadays. I don't want to see the Jets better not freaking pay a single running back at all, because they're so disposable. It's
Unless you can get Philip Lindsay for cheap.
I mean, Philip Lindsay for cheap, yes, but also at the same time, somebody else can fill in and do the same thing. Philip Lindsay. I look at it like this. Look at the Giants. Saquon's out, and freaking Wayne Gallman is having a freaking 100 back-to-back 100-yard games. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, don't tell me I need to pay a running back. Like, I will never do that again. So I think we should stick to the prospects in the running back room. I think also we should probably look at your boy Kyle freaking Pitts. I don't think he's gonna.
He's gonna be top 10 for sure.
I think he's gonna be top 10.
He's a generational tight end talent. He's insane. He is probably the best tight end prospect in recent years.
Yeah, I can't like.
The last one that had like his kind of projection was Eric Ebron when the Lions took him.
The Lions took him at like 9 or something like that. I think 10 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Eric Ebron was the. I think, dude, he's better. This is interesting to say, but like, he's showing up like Aaron Hernandez did in Florida when he was there. Like, Aaron Hernandez was a baller, as much as whatever he did, whatever.
Like, he's also a shot caller too.
Yeah, shot caller. But at the same time, like, he balled out at Florida. Like, that's what it kind of reminds me of this offense right now. It's like this Tebow Hernandez connection. Like,
yeah.
So like, and that's
good. He's also
good.
helping Kyle Trask stock up too.
Oh my God, yeah, Kyle Trask. Everyone's like talking about him in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be interesting. And then another wide receiver is a guy I had to pick. You got a guy, so I get a guy. Ronnie Bell from Michigan. He's a wide receiver. He's just one of those types of dudes that, like, throw me a slant. I'm going to run over the middle, and good luck to anybody that wants to hit me. You know, so he's one of those guys who doesn't care. He's going to be aggressive, and he's going to try and run people over. And he's got some good speed. He's got some good hands. And he's been balling on Michigan for a little while now. I really like him. So that's from my wide receiver kind of room. And then I got a couple offensive linemen I want to talk about. Trey Smith from Tennessee. He's one of those interior guard. I think really the Jets, like, Becton's solid. And even at this point, I'd call George Fant even solid at right tackle. Mm-hmm. McGovern's, like, playing, like, kind of out of his mind the past couple games, and I think like you can have like a combination of guards, but I think we're gonna have to still like draft another interior lineman, and I think Trey Smith's one of those guys that can do it because he's just 300 pounds, stupid athletic, and is a good mover, you know. So
yeah,
I think he's a big one.
I like Trey Smith. He's more of a development kind of player.
Mm-hmm.
I think he needs to get more in tuned and like work on just like the fundamentals and mechanics. He is really athletic, but I've seen enough tape of him being in the sec
Yeah.
to know that he does get blown sometimes
Really?
when blocking. Yeah,
Right. Okay.
but he could be he could be like a high risk, low reward, or not high risk,
Low risk.
low risk.
Like
high
I'm
reward
thinking,
kind
like
of
he
player.
could be like it's like a
That's like a solid like fourth round,
fifth round
late
guy, like
third to like fifth round guy. Anywhere
Yeah.
between them, you know how players go.
yeah. I mean, this could be like this could be Seattle's other third round pick, or I mean the other pick we got.
Or the first pick in the fourth round.
Yeah, it could be anything. But also I looked at Tyler Rabel out of Boston College. He's a tackle. He's one of the 6'5", 320-pound guys that just like he can move. Like he's been a starter at BC for a couple years now, and it's another one you could throw in the line room. And he's gonna go late. Like he's not high up there. So it's something that like these are like fourth, fifth round, 6 guys that I kind of found. But that's kind of it for the offensive side of the ball. I know you've been kind of looking up some defensive guys.
What have you found? Defensive players.
I know.
The dog mentality that I'm going to hit you in the throat and you're going to do nothing about it.
Exactly.
To start off, I looked at some edge rushers. The first one I want to talk about is Ronnie Perkins out of Oklahoma. He also is a teammate of Jalen Hurts. He's an edge rusher, 6'4", 248 kind of build, like a Von Miller, Khalil Mack, around the 248, 249 range. At Oklahoma, his freshman and sophomore year, his sack production was 5 and 6 sacks in that range, but he was able to get behind the line and create plays in the backfield. He had 13.5 tackles for a loss last season. Really big guy who can really play on, not as like, you know how the Jets use a speed rusher as their left outside linebacker and more of a power rush kind of guy at the right side linebacker? Mm-hmm. He could be more of a power rush kind of outside linebacker with his style of play. I think he'd be a really good right outside linebacker for us. And that goes into the second edge rusher I found.
And?
I think he could be our left outside linebacker.
Okay.
His name's Jalen Phillips. He's out of Miami. He played at UCLA for 2 years. His sack production at UCLA was bad. His first year over in Miami, he went from 1 sack at UCLA in his sophomore year to 5 at Miami his first year. Mm-hmm. I'm looking to see what he can do more, but he's a late round pick who really has all the tools. He's 6'5", 255 pounds. Speed. Fast dude, young, he's athletic. I think he's one of those late round prospects you really work on.
That would be awesome. I mean, we need someone to... I mean, at this point, I think Jordan Jenkins is probably going to leave. And so I think we're going to need to replace that. And that's kind of like you said, that role of that power rushing, kind of power run role. I think Ronnie Perkins fits that really well. I think that's a really good pickup.
And the good thing about both these players is that Jalen Phillips is a bigger... like massive, like a little bit more, like 7 pounds more, like guy. You can even flip flop them and like throw off teams. Like they're both both really durable. Like they can do both sides of the role, which I think it would be cool to have because it would create something the Jets haven't had in their playbooks in a long time, and that is creativity.
Creativity. But you gotta also remember that probably next year, and I tend to forget this, is there's probably gonna be a new defensive scheme, like whoever the head coach is, there's gonna be a completely different scheme. But guys like this, like you were talking about, like Ronnie Perkins, he could probably do both. Like that's what you need. You need a guy that can do both. But I feel like Jalen Phillips is more of that speed guy off the edge. He's how old is he? He's what?
He's 21.
He's 21, yeah. So he's coming out, and he'll be one of those guys that's speed. And Miami's been, I mean, I think Miami just lost this past weekend, but they've been balling this year. So he's in the spotlight a lot of times.
Miami makes some pretty good defensive players.
I would say that, yeah, definitely. They make a pretty good all-around players.
Yeah. Sean Taylor, Ed Reed.
Keep going. No, but I mean, any other defensive players that you?
Yeah, speaking of Sean Taylor and Ed Reed, those DBs, we're gonna go in. I looked at corners to help our secondary. And the first corner I looked at was Paulson Adebo out of Stanford. He was a projected first-round pick last year.
I remember like the last name is familiar. Like it's been.
Yeah,
around for a
he
while.
was projected to go to the Eagles last year, late in the first round, but he decided to stay next year at Stanford. But
Smart.
I think he opted out, or Stanford hasn't played.
I think
because-
Stanford did not play.
Okay, because he had no stats for this year, and I was just researching him. So his
This guy was terrible.
I was like, I didn't know if he opted out or if they didn't play it. I thought those were the two, like, answers to that question. But because of that, his draft stock has taken a hit. He went from being a projected first round pick to a late third, early fourth round guy.
Oh.
And he's a 6'1", 189-pound
Oh
corner.
my god.
As-
All corners need to be 6 foot and over nowadays.
You know-
I'm sorry, it's like these guys, DK Metcalf, all these types of guys, like they're just too big. Like there's no reason a 5'9", 85-pound corner should be guarding DK Metcalf. It's just don't. If they're not 6 foot, 200 pounds, like stop. Like don't even talk to me. You know what I mean? Like it's becoming the NFL's like these dudes are like Julio. You need someone to stop Julio Jones. Nobody's stopping Julio Jones at 5'10". You know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just not happening.
I don't sleep on Stanford corners anymore because I start thinking like to go to Stanford and to actually go to class there, you have to have
Really
some
smart.
level of intellect, you know.
Richard Sherman.
And that's another thing. He fits that frame, Richard Sherman. Like I watch his tape. He's not more of like a ball hawk corner. He's more of a man-to-man guy.
Oh, he plays man. Okay. Richard's more of his own play scheme. Type
Yeah,
of guy.
but like Richard Sherman, he's also very physical.
Okay. Cool.
So like
That's good.
he will go up with. He doesn't care
Okay. Good.
if he can fall down and like fall backwards and get hurt. He'll just still go up with it. So he actually his sophomore season was his first season he started, and he had 4 interceptions already. His his junior season, same thing, 4 interceptions, 10 pass deflections, and his sophomore season he also played in the box. Well, he caused a forced fumble, had 5 tackles for a loss. He can go after the quarterback and the running back on like those tosses and everything.
That's what we need.
I feel like he's a corner who can be a run support corner and also be able to cover those big body
Deeps, yeah.
DK Metcalf quality
Types.
receivers. Yeah.
Down deep. So it seems like he's like that seems like a really good body to add to that corner room, you know? That's the type of guy that like likes to fly to the ball, like what we were talking about right before this. We want guys to be flying to the ball. That's the thing about the Jets this year. Like as much as you may this shit like they're terrible, blah blah blah, like I feel like when it comes to the defense at least, is those dudes play pretty hard. Like it's not I'm not seeing like Neville Hewitt take a playoff. I'm not seeing Quinnen take a playoff. They're not taking a playoff. They're trying hard. It's just not going right. They don't have all the pieces there. And plus, when your offense is as bad as the Jets' offense, you're put in a bad position every single time. So,
that's true. Sorry guys, we're laughing. My glasses just fell apart. But
funny.
Another I like how you mentioned like the DK Metcalf like
comparison.
builds. I found another corner specifically to cover those 6'4" playmakers. His name's Israel Makiyama.
Damn.
I
say it again?
definitely
What'd you
butchered
say?
that.
Say it again.
Makiyama.
That's good enough. I think you got
I'm
it.
just gonna call him Israel. All right, Israel. So Israel's from South Carolina, 6'4", 205-pound corner, big guy, big dude. He played 3 years, his freshman, sophomore, and junior year. I believe he was a redshirt as well. His freshman year, he only played 5 games. He had 1 interception. Sophomore year, he played 12 games. Finished with 4 interceptions. 1 he returned for a touchdown and 9 pass deflections. Really big step up from the year before. And then right now, his junior year, he's played 5 games. He's had 2 interceptions. Yeah, he's definitely. I think he's gonna have a better season than his sophomore season, which shows that he progressively gets better.
Mm-hmm.
Which
So where is he ranked around?
he's also a late third, like,
Third round guy.
late third to mid 4th round pick.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. That really intrigues me because a guy like that, like him, even like him in practice, like that's a guy that's gonna challenge Denzel Mims every time and make Denzel Mims better. He's gonna like that's like the type of guy you really like. A 6'4" corner that makes my freaking eyes gush.
And like
I love
it's
it.
like I never like you never hear a 6'4" corner.
No, you
It's
don't.
like
And you know what? He's ahead
that's
of the
like
game.
me going out there playing corner.
Yeah.
I'm not going to because
No, you
I have
get-
the athleticism of a flea. But
That's funny.
but stepping away from secondary and going back to that front seven, I looked at defensive linemen kind of
True, we do need
to
some
help
more.
Quinn out, and I found a nose tackle.
Interesting. We don't. I mean, we just lost Steve McClendon. He was a
Mhm.
big piece. Like, we need one of those guys that's like, just one of those. I'm gonna fill the hole as fast as I can and just cause commotion.
Yeah, and he's a big boy, 6'5", 358 pounds,
Exactly.
out of the swamp, of course.
Oh.
To Daryl Slayton, massive guy. He's been starting since he was a freshman.
Okay. Cool.
Not that impressive on the stat sheets, but on tape it says something else.
Mhm.
He's that typical nose tackle that you want to clog up any of the running gaps inside.
Like, just put him in the A gap and you're a rock. Like,
Yeah.
nobody's getting through the A gap.
Yeah, and he's a massive dude, so he's banging around and like
He doesn't. Get
knocking over those like
I like
interior
it.
offensive linemen and weakening them. I think he'd be a really good just bruiser to have in the inside of our run defense and force them to run to the outside, where our edge rushers and corners
And linebackers.
can make plays and tackle them for a loss.
What year
and
is
break
he?
plays up. He is a senior. He wasn't redshirted,
Okay.
so he's a 4-year
So he's
starter.
definitely coming out.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, he was, which is rare too. A 4-year starter at Florida.
Well, the thing is when it comes to like defensive tackles like that, his type of position, like, when did you ever hear like Damian Harrison? Did you hear him? Oh, he was a big prospect out of whatever. No, do you ever hear any of these defensive tackles that are
No,
elite nowadays
I mean,
coming out?
Dontario Poe was
That's
the last.
different. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, what Dontario?
I
Poe,
consider
I don't even
him
know if
more
he
of
still
a nose
plays.
maybe.
I think he's on the. Might be on the Panthers, but he's one of those. He fell off. Like he's that's it. He's done. Like these new guys just cycle through. These guys like Snacks Harrison and like Jarrell Casey and all these dudes. They're just hole fillers. They're pretty disposable. So that's the type of guy that we need to like hold on to and stuff like
I also found someone else, a possible running mate with Quinn Williams.
that.
He is a defensive lineman. He mainly plays defensive tackle at Pittsburgh, but he can also play on the edge, at like left end, right end too. His name's Jalen Twyman. Dude is 6'2", 290 pounds. I think he's going to be the next like sleeper, next Aaron Donald out of Pitt coming up. His stats are almost exactly like his.
Really?
There are a couple numbers off, but based on the amount of games he played compared to what Donald played at Pitt, the numbers speak for themselves. His freshman year, he played in 8 games. He had half a sack. Sophomore season, 13 games, 10.5 sacks, 12 tackles for a loss. His freshman year, I forgot to mention, he only had 1.5 tackle for a loss.
Interesting.
And he has 2 pass deflections this year.
Let's go.
Or his sophomore year. This year, I don't think Pittsburgh played yet. But yeah, he's 6'2", 290 pounds. I don't know, man. I think he's a late third round projected, early third. I think this guy is going to be a jackpot at the draft.
Okay.
I think
I like
but-
that.
what I also don't like about that is I feel like the potential for his stock to skyrocket is really high. Like how Aaron Donald kind of like didn't need that, but his draft combine.
It shot through the roof.
Yeah.
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 I mean, Aaron Donald, the first round, like.
I think he was a 10th.
No, he's the 20 something pick, 23rd pick, 24th pick. Yeah, Aaron Donald was like the 23rd pick.
Really? I thought he went earlier. Okay.
Yeah, he was a 20. I actually just saw something on that recently, but nah. If I would pray. I mean, I think Quinnen is the next Aaron Donald. I mean, knock on wood. Like, I genuinely like the way you should really break down Jets tape, and like if you just watch Quinnen Williams on Sundays, you'll be like, holy crap, this kid is ridiculous. I'm telling you, everybody, when you're watching the Jets, if you still watch the Jets.
Yeah.
When you're
It's
watching the
hard.
Jets, focus on Quinnen Williams. Quinnen Williams, he's getting triple teamed, he's double teamed, and he's still getting pressure, and he's creating holes for other people. So I would just, I mean, if there's one thing you want to have some light on, it's watching Quinnen Williams on Sunday. That's something I really recommend.
Should we talk about the elephant in the room or the tiger in the room?
Dude, I don't know. I guess, what, Sam Darnold?
I mean, the tiger referring to Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, the tiger, as in Trevor Lawrence, the one who's going to take out Sam Darnold?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we got to start with Sam Darnold, to be
Mhm.
honest, because he needs to be kind of put in his place. Like, I understand the kid may be broken, and, like, Adam Gase hasn't helped him, but I said it before, like when people are good, they shine, and they shine above everyone else, and this kid does not shine. He really doesn't shine, and this year he hasn't shined at all.
His QBR has progressively gotten worse since his rookie season.
What? I mean, I get it, but what was it been? What was his rookie season?
45.5.
And now his second year?
Second year it was 43.5,
Oh, no.
which was considered his.
And now he's 36.
That's what we considered his best year too. And now it's 36.7.
Like, is he just, like, bad luck? Is this kid just, like, at this point, nothing goes right for this guy?
His passer rating got better though from his freshman or his rookie season to his sophomore year, but then the third year it dropped again.
Yeah, so it doesn't
by worse than his rookie season.
So I mean, everyone, like, these people, like I said, like Todd McShay, all these draft gurus are still kind of been like, yo, he can do it somewhere else. Like, it's Adam Gase. Like, I just don't think there's no part of me with my eyes looking at Sam Darnold on Sundays and going, really? What the heck did you guys see?
I mean,
you can have good plays. You can have good plays.
You can argue that he can, but you can easily argue that he can't.
Can't easily argue. You could put on. I could easily. The worst thing is I can actually pinpoint at least 3 times that Sam Darnold has run to the right of the field and just blindly threw it across the field.
Side.
Like, I can literally name them right now. But, like, that's really, really bad, and that's gotta be a character issue. If you're doing it
year 3,
I know you haven't had the coaches, but I guarantee somebody somewhere has told Sam Darnold, don't do that.
You don't have the arm to do it.
Or not even that. You don't do that. I don't care.
Why?
Whoever the quarterback is, Aaron Rodgers.
I've seen Josh Allen do it, but Josh Allen has a cannon.
It doesn't matter. It's just
I think
not.
there were plays designed like that though. Like, they drew it to the outside and they threw like. To
That's
the
different. Though, to the other side, yeah, that's a little different. But Sam is literally just like throwing up ducks to the other side of the field. And if the case is
And
that
boy,
if in case that was written up and that was the play, which I'm sure it was not, then I apologize, I guess, on that part. But if I feel like I've seen a true enough Sam Darnold, even if it's between the good and the bad, like, I've seen enough of him to say, like, it's just not what people think it is. Like, he's not, like, I could maybe see him being a system quarterback in, like, the Steelers system and doing decently well, but it's not enough to take the Jets. Like, the Jets need a Trevor Lawrence to make them relevant. Like, unless they get, like, a big time legendary head coach that comes back, like a Bill Cowher or some.
By the way, I want to add to that. I know we talked about it a little bit. Those rumors about him being interested in a job.
Yeah.
He came out and said those are false.
He said there were
because he doesn't like talking about a job that's not available.
So yeah, so that's called code word.
Mm-hmm.
So he may be interested. I'm not gonna, but someone like that and then like Trevor Lawrence, like, that's what the Jets need. They need just structure. It's they never had structure. They've never ever had structure, and the only reason they were in the AFC Championships game the past couple of years because that defense was like all decade defense. Like, so they really need to figure it out, man. But I think it's Sam's time to go. And what do you think of it?
I mean, I told you already, when we drafted him, I was never really high on the USC quarterbacks.
I know. That's true.
So from the get-go, I was like kind of antsy about it.
Mm-hmm.
And, not going to lie, his first game ever against the Lions when he threw the pick six.
Yeah,
I was like, I
but
knew
he
it.
bounced back.
I was like, I knew it, and then we came back and won like 42-17.
Yeah, and then he balled out. So
Yeah.
I mean, but that's Sam Darnold right there. Like, but that's not what you can't. You can't do that. That's not like he's not Eli Manning. That's what Eli Manning minorly did. That's he just like throw shit to the wall and hope that shit works. Like that's Sam Darnold. Like that's not what the Jets need because this kid is toast. Like he's already toast in New York. Like the thing about Trevor Lawrence is Trevor Lawrence, I think I've said this before. He shouldered the entire weight of college football on his back like for the past 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's been the face of college football for 3 years.
Yeah.
And there's never been a peep. Have you heard an ounce of anything bad ever about Trevor Lawrence? Ever. No.
No, other than that, not really bad. This girl said she looks like him, and I don't know if that's a diss to him or to her.
That has not that, but at the same time,
that's the worst.
That's the worst thing. Okay, so that's the worst thing you've ever heard about him. Like this guy is just like all around 100%, and like he can handle New York. So I think it's time for Trevor Lawrence, man. Not to say Sam Darnold hasn't like he's been an upstanding guy, like he's a good kid, but at the same time, he sits there on the radio show. Oh, it stinks. I gotta play better.
We need to execute.
We need to execute, dude.
We need to execute.
I get it. You're losing. Like you don't want to talk. Like you have this like interview, but at the same time, like have some creativity. Maybe you don't have any creativity. Him and Adam Gase press conferences are like, oh yeah, we stink. Oh okay, I'm sorry. No, that's just like loser mentality. Like you gotta be like, no, we gotta get in there. We gotta fix this. Adam Gase is like, oh well, we gotta turn this thing around. I think so. I think we gotta turn it around. I'm like, shut up.
I don't think the Jets have enough like confidence left in them to get a win the rest of the season. They kind of just rolled over against Seattle.
No, but realistically, I want the Jacksonville Jaguars to win like a game or two more, and
against
then
the Bears.
I want us to win a game just so we don't go in 16.
Just so we can tie with Rich Kotite.
Yeah, just so we can just not be laughing. I can't take it, man. It's not fair. It's literally not fair. It's not fair. I can't.
No,
it's not.
It's not fair to Sam. It's not fair to the
Jets
fans.
I look at this like the Browns. Like not to say they turned it around, but like the Browns are doing well now.
Yeah,
it's possible. It's possible. You get the right people in there. I don't think they should have fired John Dorsey, but they have the right people in there. I think Stefanski's is an all around upstanding guy, and he's a good
is that the 30
head coach.
Oh no, didn't they hire like a really young GM out of Harvard this year?
I think so. I don't even know who he is, but they fired Dorsey, who got that team put together pretty well.
I think they look better without Odell. So
they
have like if they wanted to, they could sign and trade.
Well, is his contract up?
I think so.
Stay away from that guy. I don't want to pay a receiver, and I don't want to pay a running back. I'm sorry. Maybe Allen Robinson if he doesn't want too much, but I'm not paying these dudes. Draft me another wide receiver. I'd rather draft. I'm sorry. But I'll take one of them. I'll definitely take Allen Robinson or Kenny Golladay. Don't get me wrong. I will take that.
I don't think he's a free agent this year because remember last episode I was doing research on players, and if he was a free agent, I would have definitely put him on the list.
But still, Allen Robinson I would really, really like. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to pay people anymore, and I think that's the same difference. I think it's the same thing that Joe Douglas is thinking about. I don't have to overpay these dudes. We have these young guys that are like, what's the difference between us? So say we gave like Kyle Van Noy signed with the Dolphins, right?
Mm-hmm.
For $50 million. What is Kyle Van Noy $50 million? Like, what is he gonna do on our roster? that Henry Anderson isn't doing or Bryce Huff isn't doing. You know what I'm saying? So like that's the type of move where like that was like that's showing promise. Like Joe Douglas isn't paying these dudes for nothing, you know? So he's not overpaying, he's not really underpaying. Like he's just like figuring out deals that works for him, and if it doesn't work, like screw it. We don't need that. We have young guys that are ready to be hungry. Like he'd rather have dudes that are hungry and want to play than guys that are here on a check.
You know what's funny that you mentioned Kyle Benoit? I've realized something over the years with Bill. Mm-hmm. Good old Bill Belichick. That stupid napkin. I'd wipe my ass with it if I had it. You know when a player he has isn't really good unless he trades them.
True.
Because he's afraid he's going to lose them for nothing. Or he re-signs them. Case in point, Chandler Jones traded.
Yeah.
Another case in point, Devin McCourty has been with the Patriots his whole career.
Yeah. That's true.
Jamie Collins, he traded.
He brought back, though.
And then he brought him back, yeah.
And then he traded him.
Dante Hightower, never traded.
That's true. He keeps the good ones. And if they leave, then...
But, like, if...
their product's a system as well.
That's what I'm getting to. He knows that these guys are only putting up these numbers because they work in his system. And why would he overpay for someone that only works in his system when they're just going to get overpaid somewhere else and not put
next
the
guy
stats
up.
they did? Yeah, and then he'll be like, I draft players based on if they fit my system. And then he'll pull some random guy out of the 6th round and he'll be solid for no freaking reason. Exactly. Or he'll sign like a random left end out of like the practice squad for like the Chicago Bears.
Exactly. But I mean, the best guard this year is the best rookie this year, honestly, is the guard for the Patriots. I don't know his name, but he's been the best overall rookie. Like PFF's ranked him like the best rookie this year so far, and he's a guard from like the 6th round out of the Patriots. It's like, it's just typical. And then in a couple of years, he'll go somewhere else and get a fat contract, and it's just the next guy up, Shaq Mason, blah blah blah. I mean, we could go back all day about the Patriots, but that's why I like Bill's philosophy, and I think the next head coach needs to be a head coach. No guru, no defensive guru. No, I don't want that. I want a head coach, and I want him to pick an offensive guy and a defensive guy.
That's the thing. Chris Johnson has to let him do that because Chris Johnson picked Greg Williams for Adam Gase.
Yeah, Chris Johnson picked everything for everybody. You know what I mean? So I think if Chris Johnson or Woody Johnson, whatever, let Joe Douglas do his thing.
It's probably gonna be Woody because he's coming back now that he's no longer an ambassador.
Yeah.
In UK.
So I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna be, but I want it to be the Joe Douglas show. That's the only guy I trust.
Woody coming back would be the best thing for this franchise.
I don't know about the best thing for the franchise. They're both pretty bad.
That's the thing. They're both awful, but Chris is so much more awful than
That's
Woody.
true. But to be fair, Chris Chris kind of just got thrown into the position.
That's true.
Like Chris, I don't think Chris was like, I want to be the active owner. I don't think he was like, yup, give me this. Like, I think there was like, Chris, you kind of got to do this. And he's like, okay, fine. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's different. I don't know. I think if you let Joe Douglas do his thing, we have the first overall pick. It's the Trevor Lawrence show, and that's the tiger in the room.
Yeah. I think that's a good point to end this off.
All right, thank you guys. Check us out on Twitter, _very long. Ask us some questions. Anything you want to talk to us about, go ahead. Hit us up.
All right, awesome. And you guys could also check out our archive of previous episodes on YouTube. Just look up Third and Very Long, and you'll be able to look at podcasts that may have gotten taken off Spotify because they've been up there too long. Just because of our provider, yeah. So if you want to look at any podcasts that we've done before in the past, check us out on YouTube.
Subscribe.
Yep, subscribe. And like always, we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you.